Alright, let's start now with our first line type lab. So in this lab we're going to list all the line types. So before we start creating our method, let's add a new class. We call it LineTypes class. So right click on this solution here, select add and class. Let's call this as LineTypes class. It's a good practice to separate the methods into its classes depending on the functionalities. So for the layers, it's good that we keep all the methods in the layers class, and for these line types we will keep in the line types class. Easier for us to maintain or to manage and to locate. So let's get rid of all these preloaded namespaces and let's load our own using autodesk.autocad.application services, using autodesk.autocad.database services, using autodesk.autocad.runtime, and the last one is autodesk.autocad.geometry. Alright, next we need to make this as a public class. Now we can start writing our method. So first we have to specify the command method. Let's call this as list line types, and it should be public void list line types. Okay, so as usual we need to get a handle of our document object or the drawing object. So document doc equals application that document manager that MDI active document. Next we need to get the database. Can derive from the doc, the database. Now we need to create a new transaction. So using transaction, trans equals db.transaction manager that start transaction. Okay, so if you recall from the layers lab, there is this layer table. So similar with the layer, there is also a line type table. So let's call this as lt tab equals trans that get object. It will be coming from database that line type table ID, then open mode that for read as line type table. Okay, so now that we have the line type table here, all we need to do is iterate through this table using the for each loop. So we need the object ID. Let's just call this LTID in layer tab. Next we need to get the line type table record. Let's call this as LTTR equals from the transaction get object LTID open mode for read as line type table record. Since we are just reading the properties of the line type table record, that's why we just need it for reading. Now we can display the line type name to the user using the editor. that write message, line type name plus lttr dot name, and that's it. Let's just commit the transaction. Yeah, so this is our code. Let's save our project and do a rebuild. Succeeded. Now let me open up AutoCAD. Okay, now we can load our plugin. So this is still our plugin. We just added a new class, but the solution or the project is still the same. So our location is still the same. Okay, before we run our method, let us check what are the line types loaded first. What are the current line types loaded? We have 5 line types: by layer, by block, continuous, -2, and hidden. So let's run our code. List line types. Yeah, there you go. So that's about it for our first method for the line types. Try it out and see how it goes. I'll see you in the next video.